Welcome to Our Communiversity Today, a community affairs program from West Virginia University Institute of Technology in Beckley, hosted by Dr. T. Ramon Stuart, president of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, working to make a difference in Southern West Virginia. Guest opinions expressed on this program may not represent the opinions of West Virginia University Institute of Technology or Southern Communications. And now with today's program, here's Dr. Stewart.
Welcome to Our Communiversity Today. I'm Dr. Ramon Stuart, president of WVU Tech here in Beckley. And I'm thankful that you chose to be with us today as we explore Our Communiversity. As I say all the time, communiversity is a simple term, but it means the community is the university and the university is the community. I think that's so important because as we look at where Southern West Virginia is and we envision where it can be, it is crucial that we come together for dialogue that allows us to integrate for the purpose of elevating. And I'm so happy to have in studio with me today Lisa Strader, who is the executive director of Visit Southern West Virginia. She's definitely a visionary in the tourism space and bringing people to Southern West Virginia, bringing people here for the purpose of not only engaging them in recreation, but also making them feel like they're at a home away from home. So today, as we explore this particular topic, I want us to think about, when we think about Lisa and the things that she does at Visit Southern West Virginia, I want us to think about the two questions that we always seek to ask and answer. And that's simply, why not us and why not now? So right after this break, we'll be back with more Our Communiversity Today on News Talk WWNR.
The Golden Bears are back. This fall, WVU Tech welcomes students from across the globe, and everyone is invited to be a part of the communiversity. Whether it's a window cling, a student discount, or just a warm hello, every gesture counts. Let's come together in service, learning, and the pursuit of knowledge. Be a part of the community united by education and discovery. Visit wvutech.edu/connect to get involved.
At Pendleton Community Bank, they make you feel like family. Whether you're looking for the best checking account, financing for a new home, or the latest in bank technology, they want to be your bank for generations. At Pendleton Community Bank, their team of local community bankers can't wait to make you feel right at home. With all the products you need and all the services you deserve, virtual appointments are now available. Pendleton Community Bank, your bank for generations. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 403498.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, we're visiting with Lisa Strader, the Executive Director of Visit Southern West Virginia, to discuss tourism and economic development here in Southern West Virginia. Lisa, how are you today?
I am just wonderful.
Excellent. It's a beautiful day to be in Southern West by God, Virginia. What do you think?
Always.
Always. Yeah. So, Lisa, the Executive Director of Visit Southern West Virginia, what is Visit Southern West Virginia?
So we are the destination marketing organization. We cover 9 counties. Our primary partner and our home base is in the Beckley-Raleigh County area, but we partner with 8 other counties around us and cities and communities throughout the region because as a whole, we are a much more attractive destination when we are offering so many unique communities and opportunities throughout our area.
So when you mention those 8 other counties, is that like Wyoming, Mercer, McDowell? What counties are those?
We have Fayette, Greenbrier, McDowell, Mercer, Monroe, Nicholas, Raleigh, Summers, and Wyoming.
Excellent. So I love that. At WVU Tech, we oftentimes talk about the Southern 13. Now, we do go over into Mingo County and also up to Boone and Lincoln counties or whatever. But I love how you've clustered together Southern West Virginia, in terms of promoting tourism and economic development. So, there's a lot of talk about tourism in West Virginia. I know the Secretary of tourism. Chelsea Ruby talks about the economic impact and everything. But when you look at Visit Southern West Virginia, how does it collaborate with the state of West Virginia to bring about tourism here in Southern West Virginia?
So we work with the West Virginia Tourism Office a great deal. We do a lot of cooperative advertising with them, which is very, very beneficial to all of us, especially when we partner not only with the tourism office, but with our partners throughout our region. We are able to get 3-to-1 match per the dollar. So we can get a lot more information out to people looking for destinations and for getaways and for travel than we could on our own. And as far as like the impact goes, we have in our non-county footprint, it was 1.2 billion in 2023.
So that's billion with a B.
That is billion with a B. That is the visitor spending for our non-county region.
Excellent. So, many people may not know that these activities are going on. They see maybe parts or kind of instead of the whole, but you get to see the whole $1.2 billion picture. So when you look at that, and obviously you take that 9 counties and the different things, and kind of the hub or the epicenter is Raleigh County. How do you go about through Visit Southern West Virginia promoting the 9 counties, promoting people to explore, and then more importantly, to get them to come here and invest here?
Well, it can be challenging when you are doing 9 counties. However, we do a visitor's guide. We print 100,000 copies a year. It incorporates each county. Each county has its own content area, has its own advertising area, listings, things to do, things to see. We do that through our website. We do that through social media, through blog posts, through bringing influencers and writers, just, through photography and videography. We make sure that we touch all of those counties. So you may see a video ad from us or a reel or something that will incorporate 3, 4, 5 counties at a time. Because I often say this, I've never had a visitor ask me where the county line is so they don't cross it. So it is if they want to do the things and they don't care where the things are. But when we put them together and show how they complement each other and how that this can be a full vacation, this is not a stop.
Yeah. I love this notion of these blurred county lines
Yeah.
and everything that really brings Southern West Virginia together. And you mentioned people could go to your website. What's that web address?
It's visitwv.com.
Visitwv.com. And on average, approximately how many people do you see visit that site per month?
Well, last year, we had about 600,000 unique users to our website.
Okay. When you look at 600,000, do you have any way of seeing whether or not some of the visitors to your website are some local Southern West Virginians or West Virginians in general?
We do. You can see the analytics on it, where the people are traveling, where the people are coming to our website from. But we also, part of our mission is understanding, we don't want to do the old timey, let's throw spaghetti at a wall and see if it sticks. So we do invest in a lot of research. So we use Datify, and we do have a pixel on our website. So not only can we tell that these people came to our website, we can also do trending tracking about when they show up in destinations. So we are able to see that they came to our website and then they came to our region. And we're able to see what they're looking for, what links they're clicking out to, what's the most popular things that people are looking for on our site, and we're able to adapt accordingly.
Yeah, it's interesting being a native son of Southern West Virginia. And, I think oftentimes we take some of the resources that we have for granted. Again, when you think about 600,000 visitors to the website and $1.2 billion that is being invested in our local economies, obviously there is a lot going on. But when you hear of outsiders that engage with the website, or you get feedback from outsiders on the different evaluation websites, what are some of the things that people from around the world tell you?
So as far as when people come to when they come to our website, they usually know kind of what they're looking for. They may be looking for events. That's a very, very popular area of our website. They may be looking for places to stay, searching for their outfitter, comparing that, obviously cabins, things like that, camping, all those things are very, very popular. But as far as meeting visitors once they get here, it's really interesting to see our area through someone else's eyes. We hear a lot of, it's so green here. We hear a lot. I think the most common thing we hear for first timers is they had no idea all the things there was to do, how beautiful it is. And as Secretary Ruby will say, they come back because once they realize it, we just have to get them here the first time, because then once they see it and realize it, and they may have planned that long weekend, they realize you can't do everything in that time frame. They need to come back. So I think the last study had 86% of visitors return.
Excellent. I think that's important because oftentimes we talk about in West Virginia, one of our major exports are our people.
Absolutely.
We've been a state that has had a declining population the last 50 years. And I know they started the Ascend West Virginia program to try to get people to come back to West Virginia or come to West Virginia. And one of the things Ascend realizes, whether it was Bentonville, Arkansas, or out in Oklahoma, what they realized is that people were attracting people back by building trails and implementing bicycle paths. Well, we got natural trails and bicycle paths. So do you see with those 86% of the people that return or so, do you see any of them choosing to come back here and live in West Virginia?
Absolutely. I think one of the best stories I would have is I've met people through the Summit Bechtel Reserve, where they have the Boy Scout jamborees. And our first jamboree, I believe, was in 2013. So our last jamboree that we had in 21, I think, it might have been 22, but I met people who they chose their college based on coming to West Virginia. I met people who were retiring and moving here based on visiting through that program. I was pretty blown away of how many people had said, I came here for the first time. Now, the kids that were here in 2013 are now adults. And they chose to come to school here, or they're choosing to live here based on their visitation. And we do meet people, that are, I want to say the words visitors, but they're looking for places to live. And we definitely see that. And hopefully that is a trend that continues. Obviously the national park designation was a game changer, not only with visitors, but making us a more attractive place to live, because everybody knows that destination comes with a special connotation. And so there was a lot of curiosity what made our region so special to get this park. So I think that has been twofold, visitors and people that see this as now a viable place to live.
Yeah, you mentioned Summit Bechtel Reserve, and retired Admiral Dan McCarthy actually used to run that, and he's been around the world serving our country in the United States Navy. And he and his lovely wife, I think her name is Carol, they decided to retire to West Virginia for some of those same reasons. And, and then you also mentioned the 63rd National Park. And I really want to hone in on that particular topic, but we're going to take a short break. And so stay tuned to News Talk, WWNR, for more Our Communiversity Today.
It's time to stuff the bus. That's right. We're teaming up with Walmart in Beckley and MacArthur, and also Fayetteville, to collect school supplies for kids in need. And we need you to help us fill the big yellow bus till it's bursting at the seams. Only new supplies will be accepted. Extra notebooks, don't spiral out. Donate them. Extra glue sticks, stick it to the bus. Crayons will color you a hero. Let's erase the back to school blues, highlight the needs, and write a better future, one supply at a time. Look for the bus parked outside Fayetteville Walmart Walmart from 11 to 5 on August 1st, and Beckley and MacArthur Walmarts August 2nd from 11 to 5, and drop off your new donations. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes a huge difference to students right here in our communities. Let's stuff the bus so every kid walks into school feeling confident and prepared. This year's Stuff the Bus Care campaign is supported proudly by Stevens Auto, State Farm, BJ Adams, Alliance Consulting, American Electric Power, Chick-fil-A, Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, Farmer Klein and Campbell Injury Lawyers, and WVU Tech.
Sponsored by News Talk, WWNR 101.1 FM.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, in studio is Lisa Strader, the Executive Director of Visit Southern West Virginia, and we're talking about tourism and economic development here in Southern West Virginia. Now, Lisa, before we went to break, we started to talk about the nation's 63rd National Park, the New River Gorge National Park. We've had that distinction for a short while, but what has that meant for tourism in Southern West Virginia?
As I said, it has definitely been a game changer. We started seeing a big shift in visitation when our governor, Justice at the time, reopened everything in May of 2020. We became very attractive to people who wanted to be outside. I feel like a lot of people discovered West Virginia during that time. And then in December of 2020, when the designation went through, it was like the cherry on top of the cake. It was literally like a light switch. The amount of not only visitors, but the amount of national press that we received. And I'll be perfectly honest, I've been in tourism a very long time, and I was surprised of how many people were not aware of the New River Gorge National River. I knew that the national park designation would change the way people looked at it, but I didn't realize the significance. They estimated that we would see so much increase in visitation over 3 years, and we exceeded that in like 1 year. In 2024, they had 1.8 million visitors, and it is my understanding that this year has been record setting.
So let me, and you pointed out something that I guess I did not or do not know. We had the National River designation before we got the National Park designation. What does it mean to have a National River designation?
So basically, the New River Gorge National River, it was, we had that designation since 1978. And that gave it the same protections from the National Park. So the National Park Service was running the show. The 70,000 acres were protected lands. But it was literally changing the name, changing the signage. And I do think that having that designation opened you up to, and this would be something that the park would be better to speak upon, but I think it does open up for more federal maybe funding or opportunities having the national park designation. But we had been a national river for a very, very long time. So I was very surprised at how many people recreated in the New River Gorge and did not realize its affiliation with the National Park Service. And we have always had a very, very strong outdoor economy. So people were coming here to whitewater raft, to climb, to mountain bike, to do all the things in the park that they didn't even realize was part of the national park. The biggest shift we saw was all of a sudden we still have those people coming to recreate, but we also now have people who literally come and they want to just see the park. That has been a game changer for, I think, the south end of the park and the Beckley region, the Beckley-Raleigh County area. Before, people would come and they would just go to the lower gorge. And although that is still a huge draw and always will be, people that come to our office now, they want to go to Sandstone Falls. They want to go to Grandview. They want to stop in Thurmond. They want to see all the park and not just do all the things.
Yeah, and I love how this designation, the evolution from the National River to the 63rd National Park, and the explosion of visitors, 1.8 million in 2024, looking to meet or exceed that here in 2025. But that puts a lot of pressure on this area. Infrastructure-wise, you got more cars coming, You got more people staying. Not everybody wants to stay outside. Some people want to glamp, which is probably what I would prefer to do myself. And some people would maybe even want to be in hotels. So tell me how you, as the executive director, have worked with the different entities around here to bring about the necessary amenities to meet the needs of 1.8 million people.
Well, that was a big question. It's like, are we ready for a national park? And again, I was like with you, it's like having kids. If you wait till you're ready, you're never going to have one. So it was one of those things we needed the designation. I think we needed the designation to light a fire under the people to make these things happen. As far as what we've done, again, I said we invest in data. We will help people with feasibility studies, giving them all the information that we can when they're looking to bring new lodging or anything like that to our region. We don't build trails. That's, we are a promotion agency, but we like to have a seat at the table to discuss what the travelers are looking for, because there has been a shift from high adventure to things that everybody can do. We actually saw that in 2020 developing, and it has continued to develop. And that has been a continual request now. When it used to be everybody was up for the high adventure, now they want something that multi-generational families can enjoy, and that people that may not be able to hike, the Kmart steps, could still come and enjoy. So we work with those types of entities. But to be honest with you, I think our biggest responsibility is to make people aware of what's here. There are opportunities for lodging, that that you really do have a very large area from one end of the park to the other. That was very hard to convey to some people. So I think just being the educational / promotional organization and making sure the right information is out there. And we do work with the Park Service. We have worked with some international travel, trying to promote that, because that is something that national parks are known for. They've been kind enough to let a Park Service or interpretive ranger come with us for 3 years to promote those things. So we work very collaboratively with the park, with our funding partners, with our attractions, lodging, and everything, just to make sure that people know what to do and what to see and where to stay when they are looking at our region.
Excellent. And the park area has had notoriety before Bridge Day. Mm-hmm. What impact has the designation as the 63rd National Impact have on Bridge Day?
Bridge Day's always been really big. I don't know if the park designation changed. That would be something, even though I do sit on that commission, I should know the answer to that. But I feel like that has always been such a massively popular event that has always received national coverage. It's very interesting to people. It's not legal anywhere except in Idaho to jump off a bridge like that. And people, love to come and watch that spectacle, but they also enjoy, coming to the area and, enjoying the vendors and all the things about Bridge Day, because it is such a unique festival. But I will say last year was the first time I think I ever met people who accidentally came to Bridge Day. They came for the park, or they came to climb, and they were having trouble finding lodging. And then they're like, well, what's going on? Because when people have trouble finding, they were like, something must be going on. So that was an interesting phenomenon that we had never experienced.
I love it. And, it's phenomenal when you think about the work that Visit Southern West Virginia is doing, you and your team. And when you look at that, whether it's the $1.2 billion in economic investment, the more than 600,000 people who visited your website, or the 1.8 million people that's coming to this particular national park. Obviously, you all have done some great work, and you're doing great work, but I'd be remiss without asking what's next. What's next in tourism and economic development that Visit Southern West Virginia is going to be engaged in?
Yeah, so we try to always stay on top of what's trending, how people are getting their information, because that changes. You have to be ready to pivot. I mean, the way we used to advertise versus the way that we market and promote now is completely different. I've been around since people did the little ads in the back of the newspapers, versus now, it is a digital world, and people want, even though magazines, we still do print advertising. Like I said, we print 100,000 guides. People do like to have things like that in their hand when they get into market, but most people are using technology. The Longwoods put out a study every month, and the amount of people using AI continues to increase to plan their vacation or to seek out their vacation. So what our goal is to make sure that all the stuff is done on the back end of our website, to where that's where AI is pulling their information. I mean, you have to look at all of those things. Right now, we have ventured into a past similar to what the West Virginia Tourism Office does for the Waterfall Trail, where right now we have it for Beckley, Raleigh, and Raleigh, Fayette, and Nicholas counties, that you can check in places and earn prizes, stickers, T-shirts, things like that. We also have one for our craft spirits, which covers multiple counties. And our next 2 passes that we will put out will be the other 6 counties, 3 and 3. So we're starting to try to meet the traveler to the way they like to do things. And that is a continual constant. You have to stay on top of those. You have to go to the conferences. You have to do the webinars. You have to learn, and you have to be willing to change.
Yeah, I love it, that evolution that you see and everything. Real quick, if our listeners needed to know one thing about the future, what is that one thing?
Gosh, that's a hard one. I think that the biggest thing is that the more things change, the more they stay the same. I mean, we are looking to change the way that we promote. We are looking to way that, people consume their information differently. But the things that we promote in this area are the same things I did as a child.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. As much as things change, they stay the same. And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, in studio with me today, Lisa Strader, the Executive Director of Visit Southern West Virginia. And we're going to take a quick, short break. So I ask that you stick with WWNR as we close out this edition of Our Communiversity Today.
Need a change and ready to transfer? WVU Tech offers the best return on your college investment in West Virginia, and we make it easy to apply and transfer your existing credits. We've got top-ranked, affordable engineering programs, 4-year degrees in science, business, and nursing, plus financial aid and student support services. WVU Tech could be just the place for you. Find out more information at wvutech.edu/admissions today.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Lisa Strader, the Executive Director of Visit Southern West Virginia. I want to thank her for sharing not only her time, but also her talent with our listeners. The episode was very telling about Southern West Virginia. As we think about why not us and why not now, the notion of us having the nation's 63rd national park is a phenomenal feat. And when you look at the fact that we bring to that park alone 1.8 million people, you look at the fact that we have more than 600,000 people visiting a website to learn more about what they can do or what they should do in terms of visiting 9 counties in Southern West Virginia, but also that $1.2 billion economic impact that we witnessed. These are investments by outsiders into the beauty of West Virginia, the beauty of Southern West Virginia. And so to the listeners today, I encourage you to get out and explore the many beautiful things that we have, but also be that surrogate that tells people about Southern West Virginia, that tells them who we are, what we do, and most importantly, show them that we do it for them too. And so ask that our listeners visit wwnrradio.com for additional information about Visit Southern West Virginia and outdoor tourism and economic developments. But most importantly, ask how you can help build Our Communiversity Today for a brighter Southern West Virginia tomorrow.
You've been listening to Our Communiversity Today, a production of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Communiversity partner, Southern Communications in Beckley. This program and contact information is available on our website and our mobile app at wwnrradio.com. Join us next week for Our Communiversity Today.